What's poppin' booskies? I am back like crack, but crack is whack. Whitney told us that. All of that rhymed. Go ahead on, bitch. It's the new house. Okay, you guys, as you can see, I'm in my new loft. I'm so excited. I'm happy to be here. The home tour video will be coming soon, so bear with me. But as you can see in the back of me, I have a city skyline view that you will see on the home tour video. But let's get into my all tea, all shade marriage boot camp season 15 episode 6 review. So on last week's episode, we saw the couples do the exercise where they get electric shocks from each other, and Tahiri and Vado got into it, and she decided it would be a bright idea to grab 2 apples and throw them at his face because she was upset with him. The couples then gathered in the living room, and Vado was sitting there. You could tell he was pissed off, and he was just contemplating things, and it was ruminating his mind. And so she goes on to tell Dr. Ish that, what? I'm recording. What is it? Okay, you have to wait till I'm done. Anywho, sorry guys. So she goes on to tell Dr. Ish that about whatever they was going at each other about. And so he out of nowhere just gets up and yokes her up, grabs her by her shirt and told her basically, you got me fucked up. And the only person that got up was Dr. Ish. All the other men just sat there. I don't know if it was out of shock, but nobody else jumped up to help her. Now, see, this is my thing on the whole situation. She blamed his actions on him having a drink or whatever. Vado then goes off about her hitting him and not apologizing, and then still talking shit about him on national television to Dr. Ish. Dr. Ish tells him that he can't be putting his hands on her, which I agree. He shouldn't have put his hands on her. And he was absolutely wrong for what he did and for the way that he responded to the whole entire situation. But my thing with tonight's episode was that they got on Vado for what he did, but nobody said anything to Tahiri about what she did. She was absolutely 100% wrong for throwing 2 hard-ass apples at that man fucking face. She started all of this shit. And for somebody who was in a physical abusive relationship in the past, you would think you would know better than to not throw something at a man, let alone throw it at his face and be aggressive like that. That's violence. Women can be violent too. Women can be abusive too. So they should have got on her ass, because just as well as he was wrong, she was wrong because she initiated the shit. If he got put out, she should have got put out. If he got reprimanded, she should have got reprimanded. It's not okay that they only got on him just because he's a man. And I guess they felt like because he's a man, he's bigger than her, or whatever the case may be. He had no right to put his hands on her, which he did not. But she also didn't have any right to do what the fuck she did. They were equally wrong. But she was even wronger, in my opinion, because you started the shit. He didn't do anything for you to even warrant to do some bullshit like that. She threw 2 hard ass apples in this man's face, and they didn't say anything about it. That blew my mind. And then she sat up there crying like she didn't understand where the shit came from. Bitch, you threw 2 motherfucking apples in his face. If the roles were reversed and he had threw 2 apples in her face, it would have been an uproar. They would have put him out of the program, put him out of the house. It would have been all over the goddamn blogs. It would have been crazy. And she didn't throw him at the shit and throw him at him soft. She threw them damn apples at him hard as fuck in his face, and one of them hit the side of his face. Like, bitch, is you crazy? I cannot believe that they did not say anything to her about her behavior. So Tahiri tells Dr. Ish that she didn't expect him to do that. I don't know what you thought, he was just gonna take that shit. I'm not, like, once again, I'm not saying that he was right, but you throw some apples at me, bitch, you better be glad that's all he did was yoke your ass up. Like, bitch, is you crazy? So Dr. Ish says him drinking and her throwing apples at him wasn't warned. That didn't warrant him to do what he did. I'm sorry, like, she was wrong as hell. She was wrong as motherfucking hell for what she did. So the fact that he yoked her up, I'm not surprised that he did it. Was he wrong for doing it? Yeah. But at the same token, she started the shit and he finished it. So Vado has to sleep in the office, and instead of sleeping in the same room with her. And I agree, they needed to cool off. Dr. Ish asked her, does she want to speak to the police? And she said no, she didn't want to. She talks about being in an abusive relationship in her past. And once again, if you've been in an abusive relationship, you should know better than not to carry on like that and do no shit like that. So Tahiri crying to Shonda, saying he knows better and this, and that. I'm like, well, bitch, do you know better? That's the better question. So the next day, Vado says he regrets what he did. Dr. Ish, and once again, she doesn't regret anything that she did. We never, unless they cut it out, we never see her having any regrets about her actions the day before. So Dr. Ish talks to the staff about what should they do. Should they let him stay at the program? Should they kick him out? And they decide that he has to leave the house. And once again, I felt like if he had to leave the house, she should have left the house too. So Dr. Ish tells Vado that he has to leave the house, but not the program. He's going to work with him at the hotel. I just felt like they both should have been sent home. They both should have. Vado says that he's mad he even allowed her to take him out of his character. And he says that she's been doing shit continuously since they've been there. And Dr. Ish says, so she was asking for it. And I didn't even like that kind of question. It was like baiting him to look like he's an abuser or whatever the case may be. And Vado was like, yeah, you know, because he's looking from a nigga stance for like, that bitch hit me in the fucking face with an apple. All I did was yoke up. He don't feel like yoking her up was abusive, and a lot of niggas don't, but that is abusive. You don't do girls like that, and vice versa. A woman shouldn't do no man like that. So he was like, no, that wasn't right. You know, I'm just fed up and not thinking or whatever. Like, he clearly tried to clean it up. But once again, Dr. Ish was trying to make him look like, you know, he was abusive and like, you know, it was just like I said, it was I want to say a gut reaction, but that man was pissed off that bitch hit him in the face with 2 fucking apples. So Vado in his confession say, I feel embarrassed, and he should have, and Tahiri should feel embarrassed too. I know they eating her ass up on social media. So Dr. Ish talks to Tahiri and tells her that Vado has to leave, and she crying and stuff again. Corrupt starts to drink again as everyone watches, and I was like, nobody's gonna hold him accountable like Dr. Ish asked y'all to. Dr. Ish asked y'all when y'all see him drinking to step in and say something. Nobody said nothing. They just watching him pour, I think it was Hennessy or whatever, and they just sitting back and ain't nobody saying shit. So Dr. Ish tells everyone that Vado has to leave the house, and everybody was shocked. The group gathers in the living room, and Dr. Ish tells them they're going to talk about those things that they hate about themselves. So they had to write it down on this like board. And Willie says he hates that he hasn't been a good husband. Tahiri says she hates her nose because she got punched in her nose in a past relationship. Devon hates that he's not independent. Corrupt doesn't like that he's ignorant, and by ignorant he means like ignorant towards his family, his relationships, his drinking. Phaedra says she hates that she's too generous. Shonda doesn't give herself a chance to make it, meaning she wanted to be an artist, a recording artist, and she just ended up becoming a wife and a mother, and she regrets that she never gave herself the chance and opportunity to become an artist. So they have to put on the t-shirts. They come to find out that on the boards they were actually writing it on t-shirts, so they have to wear their t-shirts with everything that they hate about themselves around the house that day. And Dr. Ish asks them to discuss the things that they don't like about themselves to the other housemates, to their partners or whatever, which I think was a good idea, because that way they can relate to each other and talk about things and try to help each other figure out ways to fix the things about themselves that they don't like. So Tahiri tells the girls that she wants to talk to Vado, but is happy that he's out of the house because they needed time apart from each other. Because I know deep down inside she felt bad for what the fuck she did, and she know that she went too fucking far. So Dr. Ish has all the couples box a mannequin to get their anger out. Willie asks Shonda to be nicer as they sit down and have a conversation, but it's like how, and I understand what he was saying, where asking her to be nicer, but after everything you put her through, how can she be nice? Like, I really feel like that in order for them to come back from everything that he has put her through, I don't know that they can come back. I really honestly don't think that they can. I think too much damage has been done, and they just need to be without each other, because I don't really see them coming back from everything that they have gone through, because it's too much resentment and anger and hurt built up in her for it to ever really be a trustworthy, happy relationship. And she even said it's always in the back of her mind. So it's just like, how can they move forward? So Corrupt talks to Tahiri about wanting to do better and his mom being dead, and it bothering him on a daily basis because she was his best friend. And he says that's the reason why, you know, he's so fucked up and why he likes to drink to, I guess, numb the pain. But he says that Tony is the closest piece of happiness he's had since his mom died, and all the ladies start crying. He starts to cry and gets emotional. He leaves the room, and Tony says that her whole family is dead, so she understands where he's coming from, but that still doesn't give him a right to use it as an excuse to drink, because there's plenty of people that lost their mama that ain't out here drinking, and I agree. So that night, when everybody's asleep, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and his phone is laying on his chest. And so she grabs his phone and starts checking his call log and sees that he has been calling the girl that they got into it about a week before when they came there, that she calls the homeless bitch. That is one of his so-called artists that he's mentoring or whatever. So on next week's episode, it's about to be problems. I also think that Tony and Corrupt just need to call it a day. Like, I'm tired of seeing her all damn day, all damn night, just mad and angry. Like, girl, if you don't get some happiness in your life and stop trying to save this nigga that don't want to be saved, like, I understand you care about him, but you can't care about somebody more than they care about them, about their damn self. Like, just call it a day, goddammit. Medina and Phaedra in a fake ass relationship. Ain't nothing about their relationship real. They literally came on there to get a check. Shonda and Willie, like I said, they just need to break up. Davon and what's that bitch name? Big Nose, Humpty Dump. You know what I'm talking about. Anywho, they just had a baby with each other. Hopefully they'll be able to work out. The baby is really cute. Thank God it looked like him and not Hazel. I'm back with a vengeance, bitch. Yeah, so that's my thought on Marriage Boot Camp. I will see you guys Saturday for Love and Marriage Huntsville, The Chi, and P motherfucking Valley, as well on Sunday, Real Housewives of Potomac. Love you guys.